McCarthy Insurance Group, serving the community for over 70 years. For home, farm, motor, life, health and business insurance, log on to mig.ie or free phone 1800 50 11 11. Probably your best call in 2024. Charles McCarthy Insurance is trading as McCarthy Insurance Group, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Now, real people, real opinions. Nighttime Talk with Niall Boylan.
Ireland's classic hits radio.
Tonight I have the pleasure of speaking with a vocalist whose talent has been described by HotPress as rivaling the likes of Freddie Mercury. Now, this is a big claim because I'm a huge Freddie Mercury fan, all right? And George Michael. Shobsy has been making waves with his solo releases, and now he's back with a brand new single, Champagne, which drops tomorrow, by the way, as far as I know. It's a vibrant pop anthem about a hazy transition from late nights to early mornings. We've all had a few of those. And he's gearing up for a show at the Academy next month. So let's give him a warm welcome to the show. Shobsy, hi, how are you?
Niall, how are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Good, good. Now, for people who don't know your music, do we have a little clip there we can play? Yeah, let's just play a little clip there, and that gives an idea of this. There you go.
Told me that things would never change. I thought you told me we'd always be the same. Then you come and break with me, telling me you mean it, then fall back in love with me.
Well, there you go. That's Shobsy. And I got to say, I got a little bit of a shill there, Shobsy, because I am a big Freddie Mercury fan, and it reminded me of a particular song by Queen. So there is a little bit of influence there. By the way, were you a fan of Queen? Where did this come from, this kind of influence?
Oh, yeah, I was a massive fan of Queen. I was originally a big fan of really how I got into Queen was we were on a particular holiday, family holiday, and there was a load of CDs in this holiday home, and there was just a load of Queen CDs, and I would wake up my whole family very, very early and blasting them out of the speakers and learning all the songs, and I was like, I just was blown away by the craft.
You know what? I was a huge fan right up to, I suppose, probably when they brought out Hot Space. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with that. I think they kind of went off the rails a little bit then. It kind of went a bit too weird.
I think a little bit, because I think they obviously had a great time in the early and mid 80s,
Oh yeah.
And it was really super. And obviously
Queen 2, Night of the Opera, Day of the Races, amazing albums. Absolutely.
Just they're like Beatles albums. You know what I mean? They rival the Beatles.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So listen, that's
totally
Champagne, by the way, for people who don't know. It's a kind of new single. So how's it going for you, by the way? I mean, it is kind of difficult in this world nowadays to make it, you sound like there's bridges and there's elements there of pop, but also it's got really good emotional depth as well. And I don't know how you find that balance when you have to try to commercially appeal to people to sell music to make money, but then stay true to your kind of artistic vision, I suppose. Isn't that what you're kind of trying to do?
Yeah, I think it's very possible to do that. Lyrically, particularly, that's your chance, because I think there's quite a few tunes that people wouldn't be necessarily aware of. The lyrics having huge weight in pop songs, you know what I mean? That are really massive pop songs that are completely radio friendly, and you wouldn't almost even know, and if you kind of went into it. So that's where I tend to find that for myself. I'll never write a song that doesn't mean something to me. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I just couldn't. But so that's kind of my main way of doing that.
I maybe there's some level of artistry in radio as well, but I can't do a topic I've no interest in. Generally speaking.
Yeah, completely. Of course, absolutely not. Yeah,
I couldn't be bothered.
Totally,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Because I've no interest in it. But I suppose for you two, at this point, I mean, was it easier years ago for Queen and the Beatles and all those kind of bands years ago, those kind of legendary bands years ago, who sadly are all dying off now? Was it easier for them because they just had to get airplay? Everybody listened to the radio. It was all focused on one thing, the radio or Top of the Pops. But nowadays, there's so many different things you got to get into. So does that make it really difficult for an artist now?
Yeah, and actually, I was only talking to a friend about this recently. That people used to give out about the kind of gatekeepers in the industry, in the record companies and stuff like that, who kind of chose these artists and stuff. But I think they did a decently good job at picking some of these amazing artists that we've heard over those years before before, let's say, the internet happened.
Yeah.
So it was like, really, like someone said to me as well that they were like, actually Jerry Leonard, the guitarist who played with Bowie for 20 or 25 years, was saying, I don't think Bowie would have necessarily got picked up, like right now.
Well, he didn't initially, by the way. Huntley changed his name. Yeah, that's right. And the Spiders from Mars and that whole thing, the Ziggy Stardust thing, made him more popular, obviously.
Of course, and like that was something he did that was, it was a big shift for him. That was amazing, obviously. But I suppose an artist like him may never have got found. You know what I mean? Nowadays, so it is remarkably difficult. I actually have had the wonderful news there that I got signed there for the first time. So now, just literally last week.
Brilliant.
And so that's something that doesn't actually happen a lot, and so I'm counting myself very lucky to actually get to that point.
So what does that mean? What does that mean for people who don't understand exactly what that means to you? The fact that you've now just got signed, I'm assuming, by a major record company. What does that mean for you?
So I've got signed for a publishing deal with a guy called Sat Bisla who's based in Los Angeles, and he so basically what that means is you're signing over a certain ownership of your songs, of the actual songs themselves, as opposed to the recordings, which is a record deal. And so basically they're backing me as an artist and as a writer.
Okay.
And so I'm able to now do that full time, which is great with what they've provided.
Oh, that's
so
brilliant! That's absolutely amazing.
It's dreamy. It's dreamy.
Yeah,
actually.
because
so
you can put all your focus into that instead of wondering where the next penny's going to come from.
Exactly. So I'm in that very, very lucky position now to do that for the foreseeable, and just focus on writing.
Does that mean you're going to have to move, by the way?
No, actually, I'm still going to be in Dublin, but I will be travelling a lot. I'll be going to Sweden soon. I'll be going to Los Angeles a good bit, and because there's an amazing songwriting. Sweden is like the center of pop songwriters.
Yeah.
So I'll get the chance to work with some really interesting people there, and it's going to be a very interesting next few years.
Yeah.
And hopefully then we can kind of take it then to the level of
that
I'd love to see it at.
I remember I worked in a record shop in 1981, which is a long time ago now, before social media and before everything. And we were talking about the importance of those kind of platforms at the time, which would have been Top of the Pops or radio stations in general.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. But I remember like the reps used to come into me from EMI and Polydor or wherever it was, CBS at the time. And a guy called Bunny was the rep from EMI, and he'd come in on a Monday and he'd say, right, this song, and this song will be on Top of the Pops on Thursday. They knew what would be on Top of the Pops on Thursday.
There you go. Yeah.
And I go, okay, give me 20 of those, give me 50 of them, give me 10 of them. Is he on Top of the Pops? No, well, then don't bother with him. And that's the way it was. So is it hard for you to get, because radio is still important, by the way, but is it hard for you to get on the radio now? Is it hard to get radio airplay?
So, like what I find is I've had some lovely things where I've got spot plays, and stuff like that, and but like getting actually playlisted on radio to the point that it makes an impact on the population, let's say, of whatever country that it's in, it needs to be played, hundreds to thousands of times.
Of course, it needs to become an earworm. Well, you want it to become an earworm, yeah.
But it needs to be, and usually that tends to happen when it's backed by a major label, so it is still very important, and like obviously it's possible if you happen to go viral, but everyone's chasing this concept of going viral, and what does that mean? I don't, how do you do it? It's something that it's not almost quantifiable.
No, there's no menu to that. There isn't really.
No. So it is still very important actually, that kind of old school route of having a big team helping you out, and that's I'm at the beginning of building something like that, and that's really exciting. So, by
the way, something me and you would probably have in common to some degree is your vocal health. Is that something that you kind of have to work on? Because look, your voice is your livelihood, and it's your career, and it's your future. So how do you have any advice for kind of young vocalists out there about how to look after it? Because listening to the way you sing, you obviously have to look after your voice. Some artists can get away with it a bit more than you can, but you can't because of the way you sing. So how do you look after that?
So really, I find the main thing always, like on a day when I'm struggling or a gig that I'm struggling at, it's because I haven't slept well. So sleep is the number one thing, really. It's a very hard thing in this industry to get right as well, because as I was saying in the description that you were saying there of the song I've released, Champagne, late nights turn into early mornings quite regularly sometimes, and you have to be very conscious about that. So yeah, like that sleep, and also just drinking water. Like I drink probably 4 litres of water a day for sure,
Yeah, I drink Red Bull, by the way, can I just point out, not water, but maybe that's a bad habit that I should get out
I'll
of.
try that. I might try that.
It was many years ago, I was bringing my son, by the way, he was getting his adenoids or something done, and I was sitting in the hospital, on the hospital bed in a day ward, and a doctor said to me, he says, how many cigarettes do you smoke a day? And I said, how do you know? And he says, I can tell by your voice. And I said, about 15, 20. And he said, they're just, I can't remember what he called them. He said, they're on your throat, polyps. He said, they're polyps on your throat. He said, if you pop into me in a day ward, you're on the VHI. He says, I can remove them. And I said, what would that do? And he said, it'd make you sound like a 16-year-old again. I said, you put me out of a job. I said, you can't do that.
Yeah, no, like that's that beautiful radio voice, man. You don't want to lose that. Do not lose it. It's good. I'm loving hearing it come down the phone right now. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, but you don't want to lose yours either, because I'm loving listening to it on the thing. By the way, I'm going to be one of the first ones to download Champagne later on. You're playing in the Academy, by the way. Our live performance, do you get nervous when you're popping out live?
I would say anticipation more than like like butterflies, excitement. It's my happy place actually. So I know that the second I get out there, I'm going to be happy to be there. It's just sometimes when you're waiting around, you go absolutely insane. Yeah. But once I'm out there, I'm not feeling the nerves anymore, and I'm just I love that escape. As they say, it really is.
You kind of feed off the audience then, I suppose, as well. Then
you totally feed off the audience, and it's just like it's there's not many jobs in the world or things you can do in the world that actually make you not think about anything else, So when that's on, if you're thinking about what you've got going on in your life when you're on stage, you're probably not doing it right. Do you know what I mean? It's there. If you're not getting lost, you need to reassess. That's what I love about it.
People always talk about the differences between audiences around the world, and I don't know, are Irish audiences different to, say, a Swedish audience, for example, or a German audience, or a French audience? Are they different? So
I've played in Germany, and what I would say is, like, Irish people, because Ireland is like, as an English speaking country, I think, mainly English speaking, there is actually kind of a novelty and an enjoyment for, I think, countries in Europe and stuff, because we don't know what that feels like to be like have a language we speak more than English,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So they're listening to these songs in English, and I think there's a slight sheen to that for countries like in Europe.
I always felt that was unfair, by the way. Yeah, I always felt it was unfair on them, be it French, Spanish, or German, that most good music in the world, when I say most popular music in the world, is in English. Yeah. And I always kind of felt it was a little bit unfair on them. You know what I mean?
It totally is. No, the whole thing's unfair on them. But like I feel terrible whenever I go to those countries and speak English at them. It's absolutely horrible. But but it's something we actually don't know what it feels like here in Ireland. Is that sensation of like, you imagine, like, if all the major songs were in French, And
that's what I'm thinking. I was that was actually just going through my head. Could you imagine listening to Irish radio stations and all you hear is French and German music all day?
Yeah,
you'd be a little bit cheesed off, wouldn't you?
It is interesting, But as a result, actually, there are, like in Germany, like there's such a massive scene of German speaking artists, and so that's one of the sad things about Ireland is I don't know. Well, there has been obviously acts recently that are bringing that back, bringing the Irish language back in popular music, which is great.
I don't see Shobsy doing it, but
they oh geez, I might have get a Cooper Fuckle now going here in the next tune. Who knows? But it's like it is. They actually really do support their German-speaking artists. I know Germany particularly, and I know that they really do kind of love that and appreciate that.
Where else are you playing? So you're playing in the Academy, by the way. What date are you playing in the Academy?
November 15th.
November the 15th, if anyone wants to head along. And tickets are available, I imagine, Eventbrite, Ticketmaster, where are the tickets?
Ticketmaster, yeah.
Ticketmaster, okay. Ticketmaster, November the 15th, the Academy. Where else are you playing, by the way?
So actually, I can't say the date, but I have been allowed to say this really fun, fantastic gig. I'm playing the 3 Arena with Bowie's band in March. Yeah, so that's going to be really amazing.
What a great opportunity! Yeah, what a great opportunity.
That's going to be pretty fantastic. So 4 or 5 members of his band that he played with for the last kind of 20 years of his career when he was touring.
Yeah, they're not going to do that 3D holographic thing with Bowie in the background, are they?
No, they won't. No, they won't. No. It's with the RT Concert Orchestra, and it's like just trying to bring the vibes of the songs as best as possible.
I hate when they do that in 3D holographic thing. They do it sometimes with Freddie Mercury. I know Queen do it every now and again. Which, by the way, can I just point out? I think it's sacrilegious for Queen to be touring without Freddie Mercury. I have refused. I've seen Queen live 5 times. I've seen them in the Rainbow or in Earl's Court, I should say, in Britain. I've seen them in the RDS twice. I've seen them in Slane, and I can't remember where the other gig was, but I've seen them with Freddie Mercury, and I would never.
God damn you! Oh my God, I wish I had. My God,
I've never.
I haven't seen Queen in the with the current situation.
No,
I do think that fair play. Like Adam Lambert's an incredible vocalist. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely, but he's not Freddie Mercury.
But it's, I suppose for me it'd be kind of like if you two. If Bono wasn't fronting U2, I think I know that they played without Larry because they had to kind of do that job that they had to get done, and Larry needed the surgeries. But it's I really don't think.
But the Stones are not going to tour without Mick Jagger. I mean, you can't have the Stones without Mick Jagger.
No, I don't think they would. Do you know what I mean? So
no.
I think that would surely, the Rolling Stones would end if Mick Jagger wasn't fronting. You know what I mean?
Listen,
I really do.
Brian May and Roger Taylor don't need the money, so I don't understand it. The logic. Well, maybe they just love it. I don't know. And no disrespect to Adam Lambert, he's not Freddie Mercury.
I'm sure they love to play, as well. So it is a horrible thing to think you don't get to play anymore. Yeah. So I understand that feeling too. But yeah, I would certainly prefer to see Freddie Mercury doing it. If
what was the best gig you've ever seen in your life, by the way? Can you tell us what was the best gig?
Best gig I've ever seen in my life? God. Actually, well, there's a couple in my head. So I went to see U2 360, which was just blew my mind when I was 15. And it was my first major outdoor show. And, it was just the Claw in Croke Park was... It was we
amazing stage show. No matter what you think of U2.
Yeah. We haven't even seen something like that since in terms of a structure. It was like a spaceship, and I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah. So that really that blew my mind. I also love Future Islands, like a modern band. I don't know if you know Future Islands. They're just absolutely incredible. Amazing frontmanship. So I loved their gig in Vicar Street with Sam Herring as the frontman. Yeah, I suppose. I see.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I have age on my side, so I've got to see probably a lot more than you have. And when I go back in time, and I've seen Queen, as I said many times, I've seen the original Pink Floyd, the whole lineup. I went to see them in Earl's Court about 35 years ago. I've seen Thin Lizzy, Rory Gallagher. I've seen them all.
Oh my God!
And actually, Rory Gallagher's guitar only went on sale today, didn't I?
I saw that.
Yeah. 980,000 or something like that. It went for some silly amount.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So I've been really lucky in my life that I've got to see all those legendary artists, Led Zeppelin, the whole lot of them. I've got to see them all live, and they're just amazing. I mean, I think it is about showmanship, and look, the songs are really important. And one example of the songs and how important the songs are is Paul McCartney is still touring, although we all know he can't sing anymore. So, but in saying that the songs are great.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about the songs. You know what I mean? It's just another actually amazing live gig that I saw of guys who are really getting on in age, really just blew me away. Actually, vocally as well, was Sparks. If you remember the band Sparks.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Exactly, yeah. So those lads.
You could do that, Shobsy. You could do that better than I could do that now. Come on, because to be honest with you, Sparks and Queen have a lot in common. Of course, the vocals are very similar.
They really do.
Yeah,
they really, really do. Big time. And they've gone through amazing iterations of their career. And I don't know if you knew, but they've had a massive resurgence in the last kind of 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
And which was just wonderful. So they came to Vicar Street, and everyone was so appreciative that they were there. It was one of those kind of special gigs that it wasn't just impress us. It was kind of everyone just wanted to thank them for what they've done and who they are as artists, and that was a really special night.
I'm trying to remember the lyrics. Heartbeat, increasing heartbeat. You hear the thunder and the stampeding rhinos. Isn't there something like that?
That's exactly it. That's impressive, Niall. That's good.
Yeah. It was always odd looking at the brother. I think it's his brother with a little small tash.
With a little small mustache. Yeah,
like
expressionless.
Yeah, quite inappropriate at the time, by the way, because he looked like Hitler up on the stage. So what's next? Obviously, the Champagne song is out. It's doing well. Your Academy show is in November, obviously, and that's going to hopefully do well. If people want to go along, please do go along and support Irish music. Really important. November the 15th. Tickets are available on Ticketmaster. Any exciting projects in the pipeline, apart from the fact you just told me you've been signed by a publisher, which is great. Somebody's going to market you, which would be great. Anything else exciting happening for you?
Well, really, that's kind of the main thing. I'm now in full writing mode now with this new team. So when come January, then we'll be releasing the first few things with that gang,
Yep.
So Champagne is still when that comes out, it's probably out now. Is it midnight?
Yep.
In 2 minutes it comes out, lads. You'll have it on streaming platforms.
2 minutes, yeah.
So that's kind of still me kind of just doing my own thing with it, really. So I'm excited for that first couple of releases then, in next year when the full kind of force of everything comes behind it, and we'll see what happens then. And so I think that'll be really cool.
Okay, well, look, if people want more information on you, Shobsy, where's the best place to go to? Do you have a website?
So I actually, would you believe I don't have a website?
You need to get onto that immediately.
I need to get on.
You need to get your people onto that one immediately.
Yeah, I will. I'll talk to my people after this. And but like Instagram is probably the best place. I'm most active probably on Instagram under Shobsy Music as the handle, but I'm on all social medias and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's for people who don't know how to spell that. By the way, it's Shobsy. Shobsy. Shobsy Music, if you go onto Instagram. Shobsy, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully I'd like to get to see you someday perform, because I love the sound of your music. I'm going to be honest, I haven't heard much of it yet, but I love the sound of it. I really do love the sound of it. Because
if you want to come down November 15th, you're very welcome. Come on down.
I might take you up on that offer.
Absolutely.
Shobsy. All right, listen, Shobsy, thanks you very much indeed, and appreciate it. If people want to go and see Shobsy, by the way, he's in the Academy on the 19th of November. Oh, sorry, did I say the 19th or 15th of November?
15th.
15th of November.
Now, real people, real opinions. Nighttime Talk with Niall Boylan.
Ireland's classic hits radio.